Hi, everybody. I'm Teri Lindberg, and I'm here to do episode 14 of my video series where I detail my spiritual experiences that I've had since 2019. So we're now on episode 14, and this experience details an amazing thing that happened during Hurricane Helene. So I live just south of Asheville, North Carolina. And as you know, probably remember, Hurricane Helene hit our area very hard. And it was unexpected because we didn't think such a thing could happen up here in such a way. It took us all quite by surprise, even though if you've read or seen in my earlier videos, I do talk about a prophetic message I had about a bad storm coming. At that time, of course I knew from being a deep diver with the storm, and as a deep diver, I watch a channel called Disaster News, which is globally all the weather disasters and things like that happening. And I look at that every day, actually. And so I kind of knew storms in general were going to be happening. I didn't put it together then that a storm was also going to hit Asheville. Although Asheville has some history, doesn't it? So with the Vanderbilts here. So maybe, it all ties in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, so let's just talk about what happened. This was a great thing that happened for me. It was a lesson, and sometimes I wonder, like, wow, my spirit people, whoever they are, I don't even know. I haven't even done that work yet. I'm going to, though. And I do meet with psychics sometimes to just help me figure out who is behind all these things. But I don't really know all the answers to these things. And I don't know the answer to this one yet, and not that I believe everything I hear. I listen to everything. I take it all in. I take everything with a grain of salt, everything, because life is so weird. We have no answers. It's the most annoying thing about life, isn't it? Being a human, we don't have all the answers to everything. It's so annoying when you're a person who likes answers, and then so much stuff is lies, and they have to work through what's a lie, what's a half fib, What I'm about to tell you, though, is totally real, totally true. I'm a very authentic person. I never fib or lie or make stuff up. I'm not an actress of any sort. So this was really neat. Okay, here we go. The hurricane Helene hit Asheville Friday morning, on a Friday morning. Okay, and it was in October of 2024. That previous to that week, on Monday, I went to a park that I'd never been to here before near Swannanoa, and near a college. I can't even remember the name of the park. With a friend, we were both walking our dogs. We met there. Our dogs had never met before. We had a beautiful walk. It's a beautiful park with a beautiful, huge pond. We had a beautiful walk. It was a lovely day. The weather was gorgeous fall weather, and Asheville has incredible beauty here. So we were very, very happy. When I get in the car to leave, as soon as I put my dog in the car, and I get in the car, and I put him in the back seat, I get in the front seat. As soon as I sit down, I notice my left elbow is killing me. I mean, it hurts so bad, like funny bone with pain, like that kind of pain. And I was like, what? And I was thinking immediately, to the walk, did I hurt it? Did Shelby pull me, my dog? What happened? And I know nothing happened because I hold him with my right hand, right? I'm a righty. And so I was just really like, and so I call my friend and I say, hey, did you notice, did I do something on that walk? Nope. She said, nope. Okay, so here's this thing. Okay, now this particular week, I was looking at gyms that week, going to different various gyms and just feeling the vibe, see if I connected with anything, which I usually don't. Only for a lot of reasons, but that's maybe for another story. Anyway, but I am going to these gyms and checking them all out and all this kind of stuff. So the pain continues. Now, I'm a healer, right? We know this. I can heal. So I always do try to heal myself. I always, do the prayers, try to make it work. I don't obsess about it, but because it's all in God's timing, right? But, it just wasn't, there was no change. So I didn't know what was going on. And of course, I'm not smart enough at the time to put two and two together. Now I would be, because now I've grown more, as a person and a human through these, since 2019, I'm much more aware of things. So paying attention to things, to my life. So the night before the hurricane, I'm driving home. It's still light out. And I'm driving on Concord Road, which is a road near us that gets a lot of traffic. And I see this yellow lab in the road, huge, big yellow lab boy. And he's frantic. And I kind of slow down like, oh my gosh. And then he goes off the road. He's in the road. He's all over the place. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the winds are picking up, the whole, the pre-hurricane thing is starting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whose dog is that? What in the world? What is wrong with people? That they just, what is happening? So many pets go uncared for. And I know you never know what the situation is, but it was stressful because I was like, yeah. And then I went past, but then I turned around and I came back. And as I was coming back, I noticed a truck in front of me stop, and the yellow lab jumps in his back seat. And I was like, oh, okay, good. So okay, fine. But we're going in that direction. So I follow him up, and he pulls into this little church where I initially saw the dog. And I just pulled in behind him just to check, and I said, hey, I got out of the car and I said, hey, is that your dog? And he said, no, but it was running around in the road. I passed it. And then I said, oh my gosh, me too. Whose is it? He goes, I don't know, but look at the collar. And the collar was really digging into the poor dog's neck. And he was a little overweight, the dog, but he was a big dog. And I was just like, friendly, but he was frantic, looking over the graveyards. And there was a cemetery looking all over the place. And I just said, oh my gosh. And he said, my girlfriend, I can't bring him home. She'll, and I said, oh, I didn't, and my dog, actually, I'm not sure if he would even. I said, oh, goodness. And then we both decided, okay, let's get on Facebook and let everyone know, in our community, there's a dog here running loose. So, okay, so we did. So we both left. We said, and the dog ran off anyways. He was looking all over the place. So we both left. I drove down to the end of the road, and then I got again all like tense in my thing. Like, what was I doing? Like, I have to go help. So I decided, let me go back. If he's there, I'll take him. Figure it out later. And he wasn't there. And so I sat in the church parking lot for 5 minutes. But immediately when I sat, I said, okay, God, talk to all my spirit people, God, Jesus, everybody, all of them. And I said, listen, hurricane coming in, storm, this dog was here. I told the whole story. I said, I'll sit here for 5 minutes. If you can get him to come back to me right now, I'll take him. I'll take him and deal with it. Okay. And if not, I'll let you handle it. So 5 minutes, no dog. I'm just hoping someone grabbed him or he, found his way. And that's what I just have to believe. And so I left and I said to everyone, you must take care of this dog. Okay. So I felt fine and I went home. Stressed though. So that night, I took a bath, and in the bath with my arm killing me, still my elbow, I was talking to God and all my spirit people again, saying, why isn't my arm healing? Do you just not want me to join a gym? Like, what's happening? Like, why are we not healing my arm? I can't like go exercise if it hurts. So, oh, and, and then I was also praying for myself, my family, my neighborhood. I only really prayed for my immediate area. I said, please keep all trees off our neighborhood. Please protect us, and my boys and, my family is in general, what I pray for. And in general, then I do a family, friends, broader. So, the next morning, now I didn't even think to fill up the tub or anything, right? I mean, I just didn't even know what we were facing. The next morning, it was crazy. I mean, the waters were so high. Across my street, my main street from my neighborhood, this little creek that's like, I don't know, a few feet wide maybe, of trickling water, like a little dribbling creek, is now like a massive river. I mean, a huge, massive rumbling. The whole back field entirely is this massive body of water moving, and things are moving in it. Like, so you can kind of see like, what in the world? And this was like morning, I don't know, 9 to 12, 8 to 12, I don't even know. But it was just to look out at it was like, holy wow. Power was out, everything else. I have a generator, so that was good. So in the afternoon, when things calm, when the rains stop, I go out, get in the car. I said, I want to go and see what's going on. Walk to the end of the road. One of my neighbors has already been out driving. You could only drive certain way down King Creek Road and a certain way to the other way. So I was like, I want to go see everything. And Mike, who's more fear driven, oh, no. I said, no, I'm going. And so we went down one way, saw storage containers piled up like crazy, things floating in the water. I mean, it was devastating beyond words, beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. And then we drove the other way. And as we were driving, a guy came up on his motorcycle and he said, I rolled down the window and he said, do you have any food, or do you know where I can get food or water? And I said, no, I think everything's closed. I mean, you can't get out from what I know. We're trapped. He goes, well, I don't have any food or water. And he zipped off in his motorcycle. And I was like, and then Michael, of course, was nervous, like, roll up the window, like he's I'm more of a helper person. And then we drove to the other end. And then as I was coming back, I passed a minivan, and I rolled down the window and I stopped fully. And I said, and she stopped. There was a lady in the driver's window. And I said, hi, how are you doing? And she said, not good, not good. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, do you know where I can get some food? And I said, I think everything is closed. Nothing will be open. We can't even get out. No one, I don't think anyone in the whole region can do anything today. I said, do you have any water? And she goes, I have tons of water. I have so much water. She said, I just don't have food. And I said, and she said, I'm up here for vacation with my kids, and the Airbnb we're staying in is fine. It's near the river, but we're fine. The kids are playing in the mud and, the rain and everything. But our landlord just took the generator from us, like, because he didn't have power. So he came down and took the generator that was hooked up to the Airbnb. So, and I said, oh, wow. I said, she goes, but we really need food. Like, I thought we'd be eating out this whole week because we're on vacation, like eating in restaurants. That's what I'd planned for. And I said, and I can hear Michael grumbling. And I said, and I said, okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow me follow me, turn around and follow me in my car to my house. I don't live far away. I want you to come to my house. I'm going to load you up with food. I'm going to load you up with food. And I said, just, okay, turn around. So she did. She followed me to my house. She parked behind me in the driveway. And I got out and I said, come on in. She came in and I said, I just started grabbing everything. The day before I went to Ingles, got so much stuff. I got cold cuts. I've got bread. I've got, all this stuff, right, for sandwiches. I've got fruits. I've got, all tons of, I just have a lot of stuff in my house anyways, but I gave her everything fresh roast beef, fresh cheese, fresh turkey, fresh ham, fresh everything. No, I was stocked up a little bit for it. So I gave her every single thing that I had just bought. I filled up a massive brown paper thing filled to the top with great food for the kids and fruits and just peanut butter, jelly, chips, all the kind of stuff, cookie, every single thing I could find, healthy stuff, non-healthy stuff, everything, nuts, you name it, I gave it all to her. I gave it all to her because I have extra, there's just food everywhere. Right? People are just usually stocked up. So, and then we also gave her a bunch of drinks, we asked if the kids have, juices and sodas and stuff. So she said yes, or would like that. And she said yes. So we gave her just everything and walked her out to her minivan. And she was just crying. She was so happy. She was just elated. She was over the moon, happy, hugging me to death. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have no idea. Thank you so much. And I said, it's all good. It's all going to be, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And then she drove off. The second she left, my arm was perfect. My elbow, perfect. To go from excruciating pain to perfect. I just, there's so many questions with how do these things happen? How can the spirit realm do that? Create a pain? And for me, it's teaching a lot of times, right? It's, you've seen some of my videos, they're training me, or they're trying to, I'm already, I don't know why I'm chosen, to be honest. I don't exactly know that. I don't know why I'm given all these experiences, but I love them. I love every experience they give me, to learn, I guess, about their powers, my powers. I don't even know, just on track to be a good human being, like what we need to be here. And that definitely taught me, we are here, we need to be good human beings, okay? We need to help each other. This is the lesson here. We need to help each other. We need to do more of that. We proceeded then. I have a generator. I have a home that has a generator. That was the first thing I did, because I knew from living here before that the power goes out, just even minor storms. And I never knew it was going to be this storm, but I was so glad I had a generator. No one in my neighborhood had one. My neighbor had one, but it wasn't working. So that was an issue for them. But everyone got a generator afterwards, but we were the only one that had one in our whole neighborhood. So I just, opened up our house. I just told everyone, just come by. And even friends outside of our neighborhood, when the roads opened up, all came over, because we didn't have water for weeks. So people came over, took showers. They filled up the water. I'm on well water. They filled up water. Even people that lived in the city were coming out here to fill up well water. We get laundry. People came over to do their laundry, and just to get that. So that was just a great feeling to be able to do that for people. I didn't need help from anyone. I had I had water, I had some food. I didn't really need it. I just loved being, and I loved being able to help people, it was a wonderful thing. Yeah, so many people in that hurricane came out to help. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Came out to volunteer. There was many places all over, and people, the people and the neighbors, they got out right away. If they were, men and had like equipment, like chainsaws or tractors, they didn't wait to. The police and the fire departments weren't able to do anything really, because they weren't given the okay. So and people got mad about that, but it actually got us out of our houses and meeting our neighbors and just helping the community and just doing something. It felt really good to do something. And I'll tell you, when your TV's turned off and your internet's turned off, you actually want to help, because you want to do something instead of just scrolling, right? You want to actually do something. And that too was a great lesson. Of course, we're all back to scrolling again, but I really hope that we do somehow push through, get rid of all this AI and this internet world, and we just go back. We go back to a time when we don't have these things. Yeah, we need more of that. We need more just downtime, quiet time, time in nature and with each other, just talking like normal people. Yeah, so it was a really great experience and a really great lesson. And I still don't have all of my answers. I can just guess why things happened. But I'm so grateful, and I hope all of you just maybe pay attention too to what happens in your life. What happens in your day to day, and start thinking, maybe if something is happening, like maybe it's for a reason. It's not just, it's just, no, maybe kind of zone into it a little bit, because it might be more broader than you think, and have more meaning than you think. And that is I think that's pretty much what I want to say about Hurricane Helene and the incredible pain I was given, and then the incredible pain that same pain that was taken away as soon as I helped someone. I do always wonder, if I'd helped the dog, if I'd taken that dog, would my pain have gone away at that second? Because that would have altered everything, wouldn't it? The next day, things would have shifted differently. Everything shifts, right? Everything goes in a path. But I wonder, I'll always wonder that. If I just helped the dog at that moment, would my pain have gone away right then? And that would have been my good deed that I did or something at that moment. But anyways, I was happy to help the lady with all the kids. I even wish I'd helped her more, to be honest, but I did what I did, and that was good enough. Giving her all that food, that was good enough for the spirit people. I did my part that they wanted me to do. And that's a beautiful thing. And think about that in your day-to-day life. Who are you helping? That's what we're here to do. Who learn from these things. We're not just here to take. Oh, woe is me, and all these complainers, right? And complain about everything. No, those are low density souls. Help people become a high density person, high vibration person, and just help people. Be nice. Even a smile, right, from someone that you see as tense or angry, do something nice for that person. I'm always trying to tell my boys that too. It's like constant lessons on, we have to be good, we have to be nice. Why, I'm always trying to tell them little things like, do this, do that. And sometimes they do, and it comes back in spades. It really does. Or hearts, it comes back in hearts. And anyways, I'm done blabbing on. It was a great experience. I love everyone. Have a great day. Have a beautiful week. It's sunny here. It's Tuesday, and